Hey guys, Robbie here from CrossFit South Bend. Today we're going to talk about how you can get a better night's sleep tonight. So we've talked a lot in the past about how important sleep is to your overall health. It's incredibly important. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a general introduction to sleep and sleep hygiene, but mostly I'm going to focus on practical things that you can do tonight to help you get a better night's sleep. Now, something I should say up front is that this stuff can help you get a better night's sleep tonight, but it's just going to be symptom control if you don't fix the underlying problem. So for example, one of the things I'm going to talk about is if you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night, you don't have to eat an epic bar, but you can eat deli meat or, eggs or something like that, some protein to stabilize your blood sugar so you don't wake up in the middle of the night, because a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night due to blood sugar issues. But just doing that repeatedly without fixing the underlying issue of your blood sugar problems is just going to be symptom control. Similarly, with taking something like melatonin, you can do that, but that's just symptom control, and you want to make sure that you fix the underlying cause. So just be aware that all these things are kind of short-term fixes to help you get that better night's sleep tonight, but you really want to make sure that you fix the underlying cause. So first, let's talk about sleep and how much Americans generally sleep. We are chronically underslept. So before 1950, 50% Americans were getting 8 or more hours a night of sleep, and after 1950, 50% of Americans were getting 8 hours or fewer, and it's just kind of progressively going down and down and down. Now, as you can see, we've got our dogs down here. They are highly energetic, and they wake up in the morning bright and early, around 6 a.m., just when the sun's getting up, and even though they're really energetic, right around 9 p.m., they're ready to go to bed. That's how it should be. That's how it should be in terms of your circadian rhythms. Dogs are diurnal beings, humans are diurnal beings, just meaning that we have rhythms of our body that go according to the rhythms of the sun. So when the sun goes down, we should be getting a little bit more sleepy. When the sun comes up, we should be getting ready to wake up. The problem is that we have all these artificial lights these days and kind of stressors from work and other things that make it very, very difficult to go to sleep. So ideally, if you can get some sleep in kind of the appropriate context, you want to be sleeping somewhere between 7 and 8 hours a night of sleep, and you want to be going to bed around 10 p.m. ideally, and waking up around 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. If you're one of these people who's going to bed after midnight and then waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. and you're wondering why you're chronically tired and you crave junk food, that's the reason why. So all of our hormones in our body are regulated by this rhythm, and if you have a bad night's sleep, that's going to lead to impaired blood sugar control, impaired ability to recover from workouts, impaired mood, impaired energy, all these different things, okay? So let's talk about a few things that you can do tonight to actually help yourself get a better night's sleep. So what we're going to start off with today is a few products that help regulate your circadian rhythms with regard to light. So believe it or not, humans and lots of other creatures on this earth are incredibly sensitive to light. Our body rhythms are regulated by light, specifically kind of the light that's emitted by the sun. And if we get too much artificial light at night, or if we don't get enough light when we wake up in the morning, our rhythms are disrupted throughout the day. So we really want to make sure that those rhythms are good, because we need that input in order to make sure that we, wake up at the appropriate time and we go to sleep at the appropriate time. So let's start kind of at the beginning of the day. So when I wake up every morning, I've got this Verilux alarm here. They don't pay me any money. I don't get endorsed by them. It's just a product that I happen to like. This is an alarm system that basically, about 15 minutes before I set the alarm to wake me up, so if I set it for 7:15, it'll start kind of gradually making kind of bird chirping noises that get increasingly louder. And then this light up here, which mimics the light of the sun, kind of increasingly gets brighter and brighter, but it starts off very slow and gradual, and it's trying to mimic the natural sunrise that we would normally encounter in kind of earlier times. But obviously we don't today, just because that's not the way things are set up. So why would you get something like this? A couple reasons. One, so you don't have to get jarred out of bed every morning by a screaming alarm that's kind of beeping in your ear. It's a really jarring way to wake up. It has kind of natural noises, birds chirping, all these different kind of natural noises, and it's got a sun lamp in there that kind of mimics that natural kind of gradual awakening that would come from being where you could see the sunrise. So this is something that might help regulate those circadian rhythms throughout the day and help you get a better start to the day. Okay, so once you wake up, what do you do from there? Before we even talk about something else to get in terms of a product, go outside, walk the dog, step outside just for a few minutes, just take in some fresh air. As much light exposure as you can get from outside, it will be tremendously helpful for your circadian rhythms throughout the day. Inside light does not count. There have been many, many studies to show that the amount of, or the intensity of the light that you're going to get outside dwarfs inside light by a tremendous amount, even if it's a cloudy day. So try to get outside as much as possible. I know in northern Indiana in the winter it's hard, but to the extent you can, like on a day like today where it's decently sunny, try to get out. Okay, so what do you do from there? What if you're sitting at a desk all day and you need to have some sun exposure? This is a Verilux sun lamp that basically, it kind of looks like a fluorescent light, but it isn't a fluorescent light. It mimics the light of the sun without giving you any sort of tan or sunburn. And it gives you that sort of similar hormonal response that you would get to getting sun exposure throughout the day. So one of the things that's nice about this is you do this for about 30 minutes to an hour a day while you're sitting down at your computer or doing whatever you're doing for work, and that will help to kind of regulate your circadian rhythms. Now, in particular, in the winter, when, today happens to be a sunny day, but most days it's kind of cloudy and doesn't look so great outside, this can help with seasonal affective disorder, and that was actually the main reason for which it was developed. So this is like $40 at Costco, doesn't cost that much, really easy to set up. You plug it in, you turn it on, that's it. Okay, so that really can help with your circadian rhythms. Okay, so that's kind of waking up throughout the day. Get outside as much as you can. If you don't want to buy this stuff, just get outside, see the sun. That's one of the most important things you can do. Okay, let's talk about the stuff you can do as you're going to bed. So we got a few things here and a few things that I'm going to talk about that we couldn't bring down here. So as you get closer and closer to bed, you need to minimize your exposure to blue light. So blue light is a particular wavelength of light that uniquely suppresses melatonin. Basically all that means is, like, when you're looking at your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, your laptop, your TV, whatever, those things all uniquely produce blue light, and that suppresses your melatonin in your body because your body, when exposed to sunlight, thinks, oh, hey, I'm supposed to be awake. I shouldn't be going to bed right now. And that's a good thing. But when it happens with digital devices late at night, that's a bad thing. So to the extent that you can minimize blue light at night from digital devices, that will help tremendously. So number one thing you can do without spending any money, put down the phone. It isn't that important. Whatever you're working on, leave work at work, finish watching some TV early at night and then go to bed. At the end of the day, we kind of overuse these digital devices, and if you want to do something that doesn't involve any money at all, just put down the digital devices about a half an hour to hour before bed. Now, if you have to use digital devices for whatever reason, what are some ways that you can kind of help get around that? So one thing, you can wear these kind of silly looking glasses. They kind of look like sunglasses. I'm not sure if you can see on the video, but they look they've got kind of more of a orange tint to them than sunglasses. And basically what these are is these are amber glasses that block blue light coming in from any source. So, if you wear these, a couple hours before bed, that will help a lot with blocking blue light. Now, you have to weigh the, kind of nerd factor against the, do you want to get better sleep factor? Some people feel like these are a little too nerdy. To wear amber glasses before bed. You might get laughed at by your spouse. I'm not saying I ever have, but just saying. So that's something you got to weigh for yourself, whether you want to wear these before bed or not. But you can get those on Amazon for $10. Super simple, super easy. Product that just came out that I just bought. I haven't even set it up yet because I just got it. It's called the Drift TV. Basically, this hooks up to your TV and it minimizes the blue light that your TV produces around certain times. So when you're watching it during the day, you don't mind the blue light, but at night, when you're watching TV or a movie, this will minimize that blue light for you. Okay, so that way you're not getting quite as much exposure to blue light, and it will help with you going to sleep. Similarly, on laptops and desktops and Android devices, currently you can get something called f.lux, so f.lux. It's free. You enter your zip code and it will automatically change the lighting of your digital device from blue light during the day to kind of more of an amber orange light at night, so that you're not getting as much blue light from your laptop or your Android or your desktop. iPhones and iPads are going to get this in the next software update. It's coming in like, I think it's a few weeks now. They're going to get something called night shift mode where you can do exactly the same thing. It'll be free. So that's something that you can do to help if you have to be on a digital device late at night. Now, don't use this as an excuse to be up till 2 or 3 a.m. on your digital device and say, oh, I've got my amber glasses on and I'm using F-Lux. That isn't going to really be fixing the issue. You want to do this so that you can minimize your exposure to light, but at the end of the day, the real fix is putting the digital devices away. Okay, now when you're sleeping, what sorts of things can you do? So one thing I wear and a lot of people wear is just kind of a sleep mask. Any old sleep mask will do. Just something that blocks out light. Humans, again, are exquisitely sensitive to light. They've done studies on this where you can be in a pitch black room and there's a little dot of light pointed at the back of your knee and it still disrupts your circadian rhythm. So all those little blinking lights from your smoke detectors, just put a little piece of tape over the light on the smoke detector. If you can, get some blackout curtains. Don't have some alarm that has some kind of big bright light next to your bedside or something like that. We're exquisitely sensitive to blue light and it disrupts our sleep if we get even a little bit. So try to minimize that light exposure as much as possible. So that's all the stuff you can do kind of on the light side of stuff. And like I said, if you don't want to spend any money, just get outside during the day. Try to, go to bed at 10 p.m., wake up at, 6 or 7 a.m., and try to kind of, get things closed off and taped up in your bedroom, and that'll do you pretty well. But most of this stuff doesn't really cost that much, and it can have a pretty profound effect on how you sleep. Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff that you can do to kind of help with your sleep. So I used to think, before I kind of researched a little bit more, that vitamin D and sunlight were interchangeable. In the sense that, well, if you get enough vitamin D from supplements, you're fine. Or if you do this, it kind of takes care of the other. It's not true. There are benefits to sunlight exposure that do not come from vitamin D supplementation. And generally, something like this isn't going to get you to produce enough vitamin D for your daily needs. So I would strongly recommend something like a sublingual vitamin D and K2 supplement. This is, from Thorne Research. Sublingual stuff tends to be a lot more well absorbed than the pill form. I'm not a doctor. This isn't meant as a diagnosis or treatment or cure for any sort of disease or symptoms. Always talk to your doctor. But this can help a lot to regulate your circadian rhythms, specifically taken in the morning, somewhere around 5,000 IU. Again, talk to your doctor. Okay? Other things you can take. At night, so there are two different cases here. If you are someone who has problems just falling asleep, but once you fall asleep, you stay asleep, take melatonin that is not prolonged release. That will help you fall asleep. And if you already stay asleep, then you should be good to go. If you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night, prolonged release melatonin can help. Now, again, as I said before at the beginning of this video, this is just symptom control. Just taking melatonin for the rest of your life is just covering up the problem. It's just fixing the symptom. It's not fixing the cause. Most of the melatonin in your body is produced in your gut, and a lot of people who have trouble sleeping have digestive issues or have issues with kind of the integrity of their gut lining. So you can take this temporarily to help you get a good night's sleep, but remember, this is just symptom control. You need to go deeper down the rabbit hole to really fix the issue, because you really shouldn't need this to go to sleep and stay asleep long term. Other things that can help. Magnesium, the type that we recommend is typically magnesium glycinate. Tends to be a lot better absorbed. It doesn't lead to you having to run to the bathroom, which can sometimes be a side effect if you take a little bit too much magnesium. It's a little bit of a laxative. You can take this in pill form, something like 300 to 400 milligrams a day. Again, talk to your doctor. There's a product called Natural Calm that people like. It's just kind of a powder that you put in some water, stir around, and you can drink that before bed, and that helps people go to sleep a little bit as well. It also helps them stay asleep. Okay. So the Epic bar. So again, it doesn't have to be an Epic bar. This just was something I happened to have around. Protein is unique in the sense that it helps to stabilize blood sugar levels. And one of the main causes of waking up in the middle of the night is imbalanced blood sugar. I did a whole video on how to measure your blood sugar. If you have problems waking up in the middle of the night, you should get a glucometer and test your blood sugar throughout the day. If it's, chronically above 90, or if it's chronically low, like in the 70s and high 60s, you probably have an issue with blood sugar. And a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night and they say, oh, I have a snack and I feel like I can go back to bed. You can eat something like this before bed, or have a couple eggs or maybe some deli meat, some protein to kind of stabilize your blood sugar. But again, that's just symptom control. And symptom control can be useful in the sense that it's going to get you that good night's sleep tonight, but you can't just be doing symptom control for the rest of your life. You shouldn't need to eat something before bed each night to go to bed and stay asleep. So this can help temporarily to kind of fix the issue short term, but you really want to make sure that you're addressing the issue at kind of a causal level long term by kind of talking to a functional diagnostic nutritionist or functional medicine practitioner, something like that, about the deeper causes of these issues. All right, guys, so hopefully now you've got a few ideas and tips for how to have a better night's sleep tonight, whether you have problems waking up in the morning, feeling sad in the afternoon, feeling like your light from your digital devices is too stimulatory, or waking up in the middle of the night. All these different things can be used short term to fix things, but at the end of the day, you really do want to make sure that you're addressing those longer term causes as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.